Hey guys, and welcome back to the WALL-E modeling series. And in this part we're going to go ahead and model this back piece for WALL-E. And also, I keep forgetting to tell you, and it's in my head every time I start a video. Basically, what you must do if you don't already is after every episode that you watch, which should be about 15-20 minutes of work, make sure you go and save if you don't save while you're watching my video. So just have it in the back of your head, after every time you watch a video or an episode, make sure you go and save, okay? And then in case that crashes while you're working, you'll only lose like 10 minutes of work. But if you watch 5 episodes at once and you don't save at once, and then on the 5th episode it crashes, you'll lose like an hour and a half of work, okay? So just make sure you save after at least every episode. And also make sure that you go ahead and go to edit and delete all by type history, and edit, delete all by type, non-deformer history. So make sure you do that as well before you start every episode, and that way you'll start with a clean mesh and you're not going to have all the input nodes in here. So once we have a lot more objects, it's not going to slow down your computer as much, okay? So now that I've finally got that out of the way on the, 7th episode, which I should have said on the first one, we can go ahead and start modeling this piece in, okay? So we're going to go ahead and start off with the cylinder. So I'm just going to drag one out on my grid, rough a size, and I got another reference image that I'm using for this. So if you just go ahead and Google WALL-E, then I'm pretty sure you'll find a good one. So I'm just going to go ahead and rotate this 90 degrees, and we're going to go into our side view, select faces, and we're going to go ahead and delete some of these, and we're going to also go ahead and delete that half. So we're only left with this piece here, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and start extruding bits and bobs. So I'm going to go ahead and select edge, and I'm going to select only these top edges and hit extrude in world mode. So if you click that, that will go into world mode, and I'm going to extrude it up roughly about this much, and then I'm going to do the same with this. I'm going to select these, deselect those, and I still have that selected. So select those edges, deselect these, and then it will only have those selected. Hit extrude. Again, click this icon so it's on the world mode, drag it out, and this one's going to be a little bit smaller than that one. And then now we can go ahead and start. You're going to go ahead and fill this mesh. So go to mesh and fill hole, so it will cap those holes. And then we're also going to go ahead and delete this face and this face, so you're only going to use the edges. So we're going to go back into side view, select edge, and I'm going to select all of these, okay? And I don't know if this is going to work. Actually, only select these edges and that will work, and hit extrude, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I have the right things selected. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, this edge and this edge and this edge, go into my side view, hit extrude, hit the world mode button, and we're going to drag it out here. And then if I just go into my vertex mode, hold down V, click that yellow arrow, and then middle mouse button here, it will exactly line it up with that, okay? And then we're going to go back into perspective mode, and while we're here we can go ahead and cap this actually, or we'll cap it later. We've done it wrong, but it's fine. We're going to go ahead and select these edges and go into our side view again, hit extrude, world mode button, drag it up to about here, okay? And then I'm just going to go ahead and insert an edge loop, going around here, and I'm also going to go into my vertexes and select those words, press W on my keyboard to move, select that arrow, and then it will only snap it into this direction and drag onto this, so we'll line up with that. And then now we can go ahead and actually delete this face inside here, and we'll actually cap that one in a bit. So I'm just gonna go into my vertex mode and select my merge vertex tool, and now we're just gonna merge these two together, and these two, not them two, but these two and those two, and there's not a face in there. So we're just making sure that basically we don't have any faces inside the mesh, because that will later on down the line it will mess things up. So again, I'm just checking inside here, there isn't any face in there, and now I'm just going to go ahead and we could probably do I'm going to go ahead and select this edge loop and go mesh, fill hole, and now it kept that one off, and again do the same thing with this mesh and go ahead and hit fill hole, and now we got a nice clean mesh and there isn't any faces inside. That will mess things up later on down the line. Okay, so now that we have done that, we're going to go ahead and extrude some more things. So we're going to go ahead and select these faces, not that bottom one, and I'm going to go ahead and hit extrude, and we're going to go ahead and drag this out to about, I'm just eyeballing this off the reference, so I'm going to probably drag it out about nearly 3/4 of the size of this piece. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and delete those faces, and making sure that there isn't any faces sitting inside here, and there isn't, so that's all good. And now we're going to go ahead and mirror this over, or we could actually work on one side first. That might make it that might make our life easier. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So now that we have this, basically this is our shape, we're going to duplicate it over, and we're also going to have a little extrusion only on this side, but we'll add that later. No, actually we're going to do that first. Let me just think about this for a second. We're going to go ahead and add a loop in here, just so we know where that piece is going to sit, and we're going to extrude it and then delete it off the other side. So we're going to extrude that face to about 3/4 of the size of that, or half the size roughly, just eyeball it. And then once we duplicate it, we'll just we'll go ahead and delete all these bits. So you've only got to work on one side for now. And now we can, if I smooth it, as you can tell, it smooths it like crazy because we don't have the supporting edges in. So we're going to go ahead and add those now. So we're going to go ahead and use our insert edge loop tool. I think we're going to mirror it over first, even though it's going to give us a bit more job to do, but it's probably safer. So we're going to go ahead and mirror geometry. It should be -X, hit apply, and now just make sure that it didn't merge any of your verts together crazy. I don't know what that's doing, but it might be our merge. So if you come into inputs and poly mirror, you should find a merge threshold here and turn it down to 0.05, and as you can tell, that sorted it out, because the merge threshold was so high that it started merging those points together as well. But 0.05 seems to be fine, so just look around your model and make sure that it didn't merge any points together that you didn't want it to. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can go ahead and edit, delete all by type history. So we're going to delete the history off, and then I'm just going to go ahead and delete this off here because I think it's only on one side. So I'm going to delete that, and then go ahead and object mode, mesh fill hole like this, and then we're going to go ahead and select this edge loop because we don't need it, and then right click, shift right click and delete edge. Okay, and now all we got to do is start adding in the edge loops, so it will hold its shape. So I'm going to tear off my edit mesh again and insert edge loop tool, but before that we're going to make sure that everything's fine so our tool will work properly. So I'm just going to go to mesh and clean up, apply, select matching polygons, faces with more than 4 sides, hit apply, and as you can tell result is 0, so everything is quads in here, so or triangles, so it's fine. And now I'm going to go ahead to my insert edge loop tool, and we're going to go ahead and start adding the edges in that we need. Okay, so I'm going to add one in here, we're going to add one in here, and we're also going to need one in here and in here. So by now you should really know by yourself where you're going to need edge loops, so it will hold its shape. So basically you'll need it at every corner, because basically what it's going to do is it's going to smooth from this edge to this edge. Okay, and if it doesn't have the supporting edges, it will just smooth the whole thing, so it will smooth that edge from like crazy. Okay, that's the reason why I'm putting these in here. So for those of you who don't know why exactly we need these supporting edges, that's why. So Maya will know that it needs to smooth from this edge to this edge and not from this edge to this edge. Okay, so that's the reason why we are adding these in. And then again I'm adding them in there as well, and on the other side like so, making sure we got the edge loops in there. Gonna need one in here, and we've done that on that side, so we're also going to need one going down here like so. Okay, so basically every edge should have 3 edges going around it, and that way you know that it's going to smooth properly. Okay, so this is looking good. I think we've done all of these apart from this one here. It's going to need one here as well. We're also going to need one on the top here. So yeah, it's a bit tedious, but at the end it will worth it when you go and hit smooth and it looks all nice. Probably beveling this would be a mission and a half, so you'll definitely get a bit better result and an easier result with this. Sometimes it freaks out and it selects all these edges, which is really annoying. So now we're going to go ahead and insert an edge loop around here. So this will hold that shape, this will hold that shape, and this seems to have a quite big thing going on, so I'm just going to select that edge loop and just move it over a tiny bit. And go back into my insert edge loop tool and add an edge loop in there. We also need an edge loop in here, and we're gonna move this edge loop as well. Where is that going around? Oh, that's going around like crazy. Don't know if yeah, that should be fine. Yep. Okay, so I'm just checking that I didn't move it too much. Insert edge loop tool again, and we're going to need one on the bottom here, so this will hold that shape and that edge. So we're just going around again, keep going around, making sure that we got all the necessary loops. So again, going to need one in here, so it will hold that corner and it will hold these corners. There's an edge loop there, so that will be fine. This one gonna need an edge loop here, so that will hold that shape. And I think we're getting there pretty well, I hope. So let me just look, that will be fine. We're going to need one going around here. There's some weirdness going on there, but I think it will be fine once we go ahead and smooth this. So we'll need one going around here as well, and here as well. So, and we're going to need one going around here and here, so that will hold that corner. I know it looks crazy, but once you model a lot, or you've been modeling for a while, you'll know where you'll need your edges. Okay, so don't panic if you think, oh my god, this is crazy, I'll never learn this. You will, because once you've been modeling for a while, you'll know exactly where you'll need your edge loops. And if not, it's just trial and error. So now we added, I think basically we added all the loops that we need. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit smooth and make sure that if I hit smooth, how does it look? Does my model look alright? Did it smooth everywhere where I want it to? Or, you know, does some edges look wrong? Or what's going on, you know? And I think we're going to go ahead and move this edge loop a little bit further down, because as you can tell we get a sharp crease there that I'm not liking. And this is what you got to do. You got to insert your little edge loops and smooth it and just make sure that it looks right. Okay, so it's nothing too crazy. And I'm also going to go ahead and select this edge loop, and I'm just going to go ahead and move it up. Okay, so it will smooth a little bit better. And then we're going to go ahead and where I thought this needs to smooth more than this, we're just going to go ahead and drag this edge loop, if I find it, and I'm just going to go ahead and drag this up a tad, and then now if you smooth it, it will smooth it smoother. Okay, and I'm also going to go ahead and move these bottom ones as well. So I'm going to go ahead and select this edge loop, move it down a tad. I'm going to go ahead and select this edge loop, move it down a tad, smooth it now, and it's looking a little bit better. And I might even go into my side view, and if I find this vert, so I'm going to go ahead and select which ones it is. I think it's going to be these two. I'm just going to select them and move it in just a tiny little bit. Okay, so it will curve a little bit better. So again, I'm just eyeballing this. So smooth it and then have a look how it's looking now. As you can tell, it looks better. So again, I could just press 1, and that's basically this edge loop. So I'm going to go back into my side view, which is this where these verts, and I'm just going to go ahead and try to smooth it out just a tiny little bit more, see if it's going to work better. And I think that's okay now. That's roughly okay, I think. I mean, I still don't like it perfectly, but it's better than it was for sure. And you can play around with it, and you know, you can see what effect it has on your mesh. So you don't have to do everything exactly how I'm doing. You know, put your own touch to it, see what effect you're gonna have if you do it your way, or put your personality into your Wally, you know. So that's looking pretty good to me, apart from we got a little bit of an issue here, but we're going to go ahead and sort that out now in our side view. So I'm just going to go ahead and select these vertices that are causing the issue because they're not lined up properly, and I'm going to click that arrow, hold down V, and I'm just going to go ahead and snap these to that point, and then have a look if it's looking any better now. And it seems like that point is out misaligned. So I'm just going to go ahead into my vertex mode and select all of these apart from the bottom ones that we just moved, and I'm gonna deselect these and hold down V again, check that arrow and snap it up there, and hopefully this should have worked, and it did. I mean, they ain't gonna see that piece anyway, but I just wanted it to line up properly, and everything's looking really nice and smooth here. So we have our piece created, and now we're just going to go ahead and move this where it's supposed to be sitting, and we obviously going to have to scale this around and that, but that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate this like so, and then you can go ahead and move this up. So basically this piece will be sitting in there, and it's only going to be this piece that's going to stick out. So I'm going to move it roughly here, and then now if I move this out roughly where it should be sitting, where it's going to be sitting, it's going to be sitting on top of that piece, okay? And then it seems like that we're going to have to go ahead and if I just go into my side view and just roughly guess the size, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and scale this and make sure that go to modify center pivot, and we're just going to go ahead and scale this down a tad and then move it back where it should be sitting, which is roughly here. And it seems like to me that we're going to have to go ahead and go into a side view, and if we go ahead and just select these end vertices like so and drag it out like so, okay? And then actually we should have selected the bevel as well, so I'm going to go ahead and do that again. Select these two endpoints and then drag these out to about here, and let's have a look at it now. Okay, that's looking a lot better, but we're still getting some issues. We're still going to have to scale this down a lot more, maybe about here, and just move it up. So I'm just trying to get the size right now. I'm trying to move it to the right place. And it's going to also sit closer to the edge, so roughly around there. So that's looking a little bit better now. They're roughly sitting in the middle, okay? So I'm just gonna move this up a bit more. I mean, you're not gonna see this bit here because there will be another piece sitting on the top. So I'm just trying to get this bottom bit right, and it looks pretty good to me. And I also want this to smooth a little bit better later on. So that looks okay. And basically what we're going to do is go back into side view and select these verts again, and instead we're going to drag this to about here for now, and we're only going to go ahead and select the top verts like so, and we're going to drag those out after I select the right ones. It should only be those, and shouldn't be any of these, I think. And we're gonna have to add some extra edge loops. We might even just extrude them out but we'll do that in the next part. So we created this for this part, and then we're going to go ahead and place this to the right position, make sure that it's sitting okay. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next part.